Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Tanisha coming to you again. How are you doing? Good. I'm glad. I really am. I'm coming to you, and as the title says, I'm giving up sex. Now, you may ask, why did I come to this point? Well, about a month ago or so, I broke up with my boyfriend who we had been together for like 2.5 years. And of course, we were having sex. Not supposed to be having sex, but we were having sex. We would go through periods where we wouldn't have sex because it was against our religious beliefs. But then we would go through periods where we just didn't care. And I'm being honest. Not everybody can do that. So, some things transpired between him and and we broke up. Now, we're cool, but clearly we're not where we used to be. So I got to thinking, and I'm like I've had not a lot of relationships throughout my life. Most of my relationships have been long-term relationships. And like for him, it was 2.5 years. Before that, I was married for 8 years. Before that, I was dating a guy for 5 years. So that alone is like what? 2, 8, 5. That's like 15 years of my life. And I'm only 37. So, I don't know. I've just gotten to the point to where I realized that sex clouds your judgment when it comes to relationships and people who you want to deal with. And the Bible clearly says that you're not supposed to have sex until married. And I'm even in my late ages, I'm coming to understand why. Because in my opinion, sex clouds your judgment. Like, especially if the person's ability to have sex is really good, you'll find yourself in love with the sex of that person. And you'll start disregarding all the other stuff you see. Like the fact that he doesn't take care of his last child with another female. The fact that, he has a really strong lust. Like you think because you're having sex with him now and you're fulfilling that lust. One thing about lust is if you don't get rid of it, it just grows and grows and grows. So while you may be satisfying his lust right now with the sex that you're giving him, over a period of time, he's going to want more sex, maybe from another person, or maybe even a different type of sex. So, while you may be satisfying him with just you and him doing it, 2-3 years down the line, you may find yourself him asking you to have a threesome or him asking you to go out and have sex with other couples. Now, I'm not saying I've ever did any of those things because I've never, but my point being is that lust is never satisfied. So, and the problem is that a lot of us, including myself, have lust inside of them. And it's just a matter of how do you control it? How do you keep it under wraps? How do you not let it control you, which is the main thing? Like, how do you not let lust control you to where you just feel like you have to do all these different things? And it's like in society today, it's so hard because it's like you got everything coming at you. Porn is free on the web. When you watch music videos, you got people bending over. You got all they talk about him. I went to an event one time, and I promise you the first 4 songs had everything to do with licking something, sucking something, or having sex with something. And I'm just listening like, that's what we're going to do? This is what we're going to do. We're going to listen to this all night. And it's like, especially like with our teens and our young adults, like that's all they feed themselves mentally and spiritually is, I want to have sex with you. I want to suck on this. I want to lick on this. But then you don't hear about the other. See, the one thing about it is you don't hear about the flip side of it. Like all that sucking and licking and stuff that you've been doing. Here in Atlanta, for example, Atlanta got the highest AIDS rate. I was talking to one of my judge friends, clients actually, and she was telling me like Fulton County, where Atlanta is located, 1 out of every 4 individuals has HIV. So that means if you line up 4 individuals, that means there's a high likelihood that at least one of those 4 individuals have HIV. And then on top of that, we have a really high homosexual community here in Atlanta. I'm not saying that because we have a lot of homosexuals that it's bound to happen that we have a lot of HIV. But I think what also is a problem, or the main problem is people who don't really know or can't identify what their sexuality is, and they flip-flop from a man to a woman, from a woman to a man, and you don't know who they're going to be having sex with on what night. So my thing is this, is I'm single now, and while I was with him, I trusted him. Some things transpired to where now, sexually, I trust no one. I really don't. And this is really hits home for me because my father contracted HIV 17 years ago. So now he has full-blown AIDS. He's still alive, but he doesn't look anything like what he used to look. And he's now bound by this disease that he got to take medication for. He got to go to the doctor for. He got to worry about if he can afford his medicine. And all this other stuff. So with all these things combined, so it's just like, now while I'm not really done like really just crazy things, I've never had any homosexual activity, I've never done a lot of different things sexually, but whoever I was with in a relationship, that's who I would have sex with on a regular basis. But I've come to the realization that sex has done me a disservice. One, because anytime that I've done it out, now when I was married, that's fine. But when I was unmarried, younger or even now, sex again clouds your judgment. You'll be thinking you're in love with this individual when in actuality it's just the fact that they pleased you sexually and physically so well that you fell in love with their sex. You didn't fall in love with the person. And see, nowadays, a lot of people throw that word love around so loosely. I love you. I love you. Love is a lot deeper than what people portray it to be. The level of superficiality, that's the love that people say they have for people nowadays, so superficial. Like, so superficial. Like, even with the person who I broke up with, I still love him as an individual, and I love him as a brother in Christ. I don't romantically and physically, we can't go there no more. We cannot go there anymore. But I care about him and what happens to him, and I wish the best for him. See, there's a difference. See, most people, when they break up with you, they leave you alone, they cuss you out, they call you all kind of names, they, all kind of just manner of evil towards you. But see, that's not real love. If you really love that individual, like, not saying you got to be best friends with them and be over their house every day and talk to them on the phone every day. I never said that. But you can still love an individual to where you genuinely care about their well-being. And if you can do something within your power to assist them in something that they're going through, then you would try to do it. Not be, I ain't with him no more, so forget him. I ain't with him no more, so I don't care how he doing. No, I've never been that kind of person. My heart is too big and too tender towards people to feel that way. I don't know why I'm crying. I shouldn't even be crying, y'all. Like, what are you crying for? So let me get myself together. Hold on. Let me get myself together. See, that's what I mean. I'm a big old softie. Like, I got a part of me that's just like hardcore, but then there's a part of me that's really soft. So back to this topic as to why I'm leaving sex alone. It's too many things out here going on. I done talked about the AIDS right here in Atlanta. I done talked about the fact that it clouds your judgment when you're dealing with people in relationships. I don't want no kids that I don't really want. The one son that I have, I want him. I don't want to get pregnant and have a child that I don't want. I really don't, because I don't need that extra stress in my life. My life right now is pretty much stress-free. I don't need that extra stress of having a child that I really don't want. Abortions, I don't want to have no dang abortion. Like, because you could die trying to get rid of a baby. I'm just going to be honest with you. Most of the time it's safe, but there are people who have died on the abortion table while trying to abort a baby. And you don't never know if it will be you or not. So I guess my point is this, is the benefit of having sex. He or she stays with you in a relationship. You have a relationship, but then you got all these consequences and these negative things that can happen. So it's just like, I did the weigh-in. I did the weigh-in, and yeah, not having sex won. I'm just saying, for me and me, not having sex won. Now, I mean, for a woman, it ain't nothing to find a man to have sex with. Like, if you on any dating site, you could get hit up by 20 to 30 to 100 different men on a daily basis saying they want to have sex with you or be involved with you physically in some way, shape, form, or fashion. That's nothing. But it takes a lot for a woman to say, you know what? I'm more valuable than what y'all trying to play me as. I'm not finna let every man crawl up on top of me and hunch just because he want to hunch and hunch. I think more highly of myself than that. And I think women need to get to the point to where they say that on a regular basis. A relationship is cool. I ain't saying nothing wrong with a relationship. But don't sacrifice who you are and your dignity and your respect and lower your standards for the sake of having a relationship. I could go out here today and find a man to have a relationship with. That's nothing. But what you want is a quality relationship with someone who respects you, who cares about you, who nurtures you, who thinks highly of you, who helps you pursue your dreams. Not someone who's a naysayer. Why you want to do all that? You want somebody who will say, you know what, baby, I believe in you. Go ahead and try to accomplish whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. And you doing those things vice versa. And it's not all about sex. This world will have you believe that it's all about sex. But I promise you, at the end of the day, what really matters when it comes to relationships has absolutely nothing to do with sex. Now, don't get it twisted. If you're going to be married to someone, true, you want to be married to somebody who's going to fulfill you sexually for the rest of your life. You want that. I understand that. That just makes common sense. However, at the end of the day, some things don't need to be tried out. You know how people always say, well, you need to test drive the car before you actually drive it off the lot. Well, there's a list of cars that you don't get to test drive before you actually drive it. You don't get to test drive your Lamborghini. You don't get to test drive your Ferrari, your Range Rover, your Bentley. You don't get to test drive your cars before they're made. Once they're made, once you've put a down deposit on them and they've begun manufacturing and then they complete the manufacture of your car, then you drive your car. Do you understand where I'm going with this? So ladies, stop letting these men test drive you. Stop letting these men drive you. They ain't even trying to take you off the lot. They just trying to test drive you and bring you right on back to the lot for the next person to test drive. Think of yourself highly like a Bentley. Think of yourself highly like a Lamborghini. You ain't test driving until you put down deposit down, and you ain't test driving until I'm manufactured and ready to be driven off the lot. You feel me? I think y'all caught what I'm saying. So for these reasons, and then of course I'm a Christian. Religious reasons. I want to have a closer relationship with God. And believe it or not, when you having sex with him, her, them, they, your relationship with God is compromised. It is compromised because your spirit is now mixing with that person's spirit. And God is like having to fight through all of that to get to you, to speak to you, to even relay to you what it is that he has to say to you. So, I don't know. I was just standing there washing dishes and the thought of this video came to me. Why I'm giving up sex. So now you may have your opinion of why you want to keep doing it. And that's fine. But you then again may have your opinion of why you want to give up sex. And that's fine too. But I just want to come on here and share with y'all why I'm giving it up. So until next time, this has been your girl Tanisha giving you a big old hug from afar. Bye.